Oh boy, we found it. We found it. Look at this. Look at this. Our very first exotic ship. It's a beauty, isn't it? Let's see how much. 7.3 million? Well, we just happen to have that, don't we? We could exchange it. But no, we're going to buy it and keep the other ship just for now. How did we come up with so much money so quickly? Well, that's a great question. Go ahead and watch the following video, and I'm going to show you the base that we set up that is able to allow us to do something like this. See ya. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of No Man's Sky. I am Captain Beefy with the Game Vault. Ooh, look, we have a cave here. And I'd like to thank you for coming back and checking out another episode here. So we're going to talk about the first base you build, the first real base, and how to maximize its potential. I don't know who I'm waving at there, but hey. So we built a little 2x2. We did build one storage unit. Remember, we got that off of the anomaly. Inside the base, we set down our two refiners, and we built a medium refiner, which will allow us to combine more than one item. That's going to be important here. Excuse me. We also put in a teleporter, so we can quickly go back and forth to the space station if the need be, or we can jump to previous systems and our other first base that we went to. I guess these maybe are on the same planet. I don't know. Interesting enough. So anyway, this is our first base. So I spent quite a bit of time wandering around looking for a good location, and I found one that was decent, right? It's not the best, but it's definitely decent. And the reason I chose this location is because it's between two halfway decent, don't hurt me, halfway decent deposits that is going to turn this initial base into a passive moneymaker while we're out exploring. So yeah, I spent some time looking around, quite a bit actually. We're probably 7 hours roughly, not quite of gameplay yet, but we're close. And the game just opened up. So this is a nice little deposit here. This is a Cobalt Deposit. And as you can see, it is a Class B. Now, if you look at that on the left, it says Cobalt B, 56%, max density, 60%. The underfoot is literally right there. So as we walk, we can try to get as close to 60 as possible. I mean, it's, you know, no big deal. 59 is good enough. All right. So what we're going to do is slap down nice little floor panel there, right? That marks where we're going to put our extractors. And this is what our extractors look like, mineral extractors. Okay, as you can see, we can build a total of 10 of them. We're not going to need that many. Now, the other thing that this location had was a gas deposit. So we're going to go ahead and mark that down as well with a little panel like that. And then we're going to set up our whole little system here to extract gas and minerals so that we can start making money. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have any electricity nearby. I spent quite a bit of time wandering around, so we had to power this with solar panels, which is a little frustrating because, you know, we're going to need a lot of them. I don't have nearly enough as of yet, so we're going to have to go farm some stuff to get more solar panels and make more batteries, but that's okay. The point is, we're going to start it small and make it bigger as we gain the resources to do so. And I fell in a hole, damn it. Probably, yeah, I think this is my own device. Yeah, I made this hole earlier. Should have filled it in. Yikes. Alright. Let's do that real quick. Get the terrain manipulator, and we'll hit the circle. And there we go, restore. Okay. Now we won't fall in that hole anymore. Yeah, I was analyzing the spot when a storm came up earlier, and it got me. So this is oxygen. Oxygen is one of the most important elements in the game, because once you have a decent amount of oxygen, or a resource like this to just get tons of it, well, the game really opens up for you, and you can do a lot with it. So let's put this down by our feet. There we go. And we will go ahead and put down our first gas extractor. Now, I like to do it, I like to put the panels down just because, I mean, you don't need them, but it helps to make a neater build. We'll put 2 of them down. We'll connect them with supply lines. There we go. And we will connect them with power. And then we will take power from it and run it back to the base. Where's the base? Hello, base. Actually, we'll get out of the build view like that and just take it from here and head back toward the base. This is going to be a test to see how much power it takes, because we're going to try to build this up just enough so that we're making enough power to run these things. Oh, and the starship's in the way. I love it. That's so aggravating. So yeah, see the starship there? This happens to me all the freaking time. Damn it. Urgh. So I got to move this ship. Alright. Let's scoot this puppy away a little bit. Yeah, for some reason, if it's, I don't know what the distance is, but if the starship's nearby where you're running the power cable, you can't run the power cable, so it's aggravating. Alright, let's get back to it. One of these days, I don't know what day, but one of these days, I'm just going to have that damn ship out of the way when I start this whole thing. We got a storm. Alright. Well, let's get the power out there. It gets out here, right? Where is it? I'm all discombobulated now, damn it. This way? Yeah, there's the extractors. Cool. So yeah, we're suffering. We're getting hit by mean plants. This is just great. Alright, let's head back to the base. Run, run, run! Run, don't die. Oh my god, this is bad. Alright, we're gonna get inside.
Extreme heat damage detected.
Yeah. Okay, we're inside. We're safe. And we're powered up. So, that was that. So now we are producing oxygen. And once this damn storm is over, we'll go check it out and see just how much. Our health will start going up here soon. As you can see, I've got one on the upper left-hand corner. One of those little crosses is grayed out. That's because that was from that pirate attack last episode or the episode before, where they just kind of snuck up on me and really took some pop shots at jerks. But while we're in here, we're going to look at salt, and we're going to start turning that salt into chlorine. So if you have 2 salts, you make 1 chlorine. So I can make 156 out of 312. But the reason we're getting the oxygen is this. If I add oxygen to it, we get 2 to 5. We end up with 780 of them, right? So pretty significant difference there. Look at that, 56 seconds to do this, right? Let's do it. And let's see what the value of this chlorine is going to be. Chlorine is going to be an incredible resource that we use to make a lot of money quickly. Now, I wish this was a planet that had salt on it to mine, but it doesn't. It does have cobalt, which is good. Now, we'll show you some tricks with cobalt here, and oxygen as well. And this is why we are so happy to get the oxygen. We're never going to have to pick another oxygen plant again for the rest of our playthrough. That alone was worth the time. But this is really going to show you why we did what we did. And we'll check out the value here in just a second. Now, the chlorine and the cobalt, we're going to use these things to do something what we call crashing an economy. Look at that. Almost $500,000 right there, right? Pretty nice. So yeah, look at that. Oxygen on its own makes carbon. So if you run low on carbon, you come to your little oxygen farm and you go ahead and turn some of that oxygen into carbon. If you have salt, you turn it into chlorine. But check this out. This is what's really cool. Chlorine mixed with oxygen. Wow. 1-to-6 ratio. So, yeah, that's about to happen. Now, granted, we don't have enough oxygen to do all of that, and I know we're kind of low on oxygen, so we're not going to do that as of yet. But since we are producing it, so you see that little bit of salt we found early on can be turned into an enormous amount of chlorine just by using oxygen on its own. Now, I like, so between cobalt and chlorine, those are 2 really good money makers, especially early in the game, with cobalt being the best because every single space station sells cobalt. Not all of them sell chlorine. Now, why that's important is because you can, look at this, 2 to 5. So we'll turn 141 into 350. That's 27,000 or 28,000 almost. Excuse me. So if a space station sells you a resource, you can buy it back from them after you sell it to them. And if you sell them a large amount of it, it will lower its value, so you can buy it back at a lesser value. And eventually, if you have enough of it, you can crash that economy and buy it at an 80% discount. Now that's great. Now when you're doing stuff like this, you want to be careful. I've had it happen sometimes, and other times I haven't, where a did we ever run? Yeah, we ran a power. Where I come back, I leave it unattended, and I come back, and then there's nothing in the refiner. It just disappears. So that's a little frustrating. All right, so here's our mineral deposit, our cobalt. Let's get that set up. I see you mean plant. Now, I went ahead to the space station and I bought a whole bunch of metal plating because I just didn't want... I'll use some of that oxygen. I didn't want to burn through all my ferrite dust because, you know, it's just... I have the money and we're about to make a ton of money. So I figured, why bother, right? So here's some mineral extractors. We'll get them slapped down. Like I said, you can fit 4 of these on a panel without crowding them. We'll run the supply pipe between them. We'll power them. And then we'll run power back to our beautiful little base here, our little cabin in the woods, for want of a better word. Not far enough. All right. So we'll have to do it manually. Should have done that in the first place. So let's go. Now this is probably going to overload the system, and I'll show you how we can check it. And if it does, we'll just build some more batteries and solar panels. And we're going to kind of have to just do that as we grow this into a monster. But the nice thing is, you know, even if you don't, there we go, powered up. So yeah, we're using 225 power, and I believe we're only producing 100 at our best time of the day. So let's see if we can make any more solar panels right now. We can actually make 12, which is fantastic. So we'll go ahead and add 1, 2. Now it's not daylight, so they're not going to produce anything right off the bat. 3. It's like wanting to connect to something down there. It's weird. Stop snapping. Let's do the toggle free placement. There we go. 4. And then batteries. I don't know how many more. We can do 2. Not quite enough, but it's something. And then we will toggle some wiring here and get these guys all connected. You don't have to worry about wires breaking, you know, like creatures won't attack or anything like that. Like some survival games, you'll have a pretty delicate setup where wires can break and cause all kinds of stress. So, you know, or things can get destroyed. Not in this game. This game's pretty cool with that. So that's fortunate. So as you can see, they're up and running. They're generating some power. At this point, they're generating 150. They're using 225. But daylight just hit, so, you know, there's not much going on right now. But I'm thinking we should have, what, 250 when it's fully done, right? 300 maybe? Enough to definitely power everything. We're dead right now. You go in here, you see that's dead. This is dead. Oh, there we go. It all powered up. So let's take a look. So yeah, 51. So now we're generating 300 and using 225. That'll fill these batteries up and let it run throughout part of the night at least. We want a couple more batteries. What are we short on for them? Oh, magnetized ferrite, no big deal. Let's go ahead and whip some of that up real quick so we can get 6 batteries up there, and then we should have enough to run day and night. So we'll take some of this pure, we'll take about half of it, throw it in there, it takes a minute. I'll sit tight. And in the meantime, those pumps are working. They only store a little bit. So the next thing we're going to want to put down are supply depots, and I've got the ability to build 5 of them, right? So I'm going to have to build them for each resource. So that kind of sucks, but it's all right. Now what we can do, this is why I got the Galactic Trade Terminal. Oh, microprocessors. I bought some of those, didn't I? They're on the ship. There's the ship. See, that's why I like that the ship nearby. So yeah, I bought the metal, the plates there, and I bought these microprocessors. Let's see if there's anything else on here that we're going to want to take. Definitely that. I will take that metal plating just in case. There's another one. There's a few more microprocessors. Shouldn't need the silver. Yeah, everything else should be kosher. Alright. And here we are burning up from the storm again. Damn. One of the things we're going to have to buy if we're going to spend any time on this planet is some thermal protection, which we can get on the space station. Put that in the exosuit. Alright. And we're going to take a moment here, and I'm going to finish setting up all the power and all that, and building a couple. Well, before we do that, hold on. We wanted to put in the trade terminal, right? This is such a convenient thing to have, because now if I need something else, like more metal plating, I can just buy it, providing I have room in my inventory. So once we build out those other, the first of the storage units, we'll be able to buy some more and go from there, which would be cool. So we'll be back once that's all done. So I went ahead and I built 4 storage depots, and 4 storage depots, 4 for the oxygen. And you see our overall storage with the 2 extractors we have will give us 4,500 when it's full. That's a lot of O2. And I've got the same setup over here for the Cobalt, 4,500. One's making 717 an hour. The other's making 470 an hour. So that was a class B over there, and that's a class C on the oxygen. So it shows you there's a significant difference. And the point is not to sit here and mine it and take it and all that. This is basically passive income at this point. And everybody knows what passive income is from, all the scams on the internet and all that stuff. So while we're doing other things, running around the galaxy looking for stuff, this is going to be churning out a lot of a cobalt and oxygen, and then once we get all that, we could take it in here and we can actually make more out of it. If I showed you earlier, I think, how the we made ionized cobalt, right? Did we do that? Yeah. And if we take that and combine it with oxygen, look at that, we'll end up with a ton of ionized cobalt. Or we can make it back into regular cobalt. Only it'll be, twice as much as that there. So it's, it is what it is. It's a good way to start making some passive income, so that you can go around, do your exploring, check your missions and all that, and try to do some other stuff, have a little fun, come back to your base once in a while, empty things out, and go ahead and sell it off and then move on. So I really want that yellow ship that we saw in a previous episode. It looked pretty cool, and that's definitely a goal. 5 million units for that. 148,000 right now. So what I'm going to do right now is, since neither of those have anything, I'm going to set an hour timer on my phone and just let this run and see what we have after about an hour. So I'll catch up with you then. All right, about an hour's passed. Let's take a look and see what we got. I don't have high expectations here, but 750 cobalt and 500 oxygen. And that's just running off of, what is it, 2 each? Yeah, 2 each of the mining setups. So again, this isn't a fast money maker with this setup, but as we add more power, and I went ahead and upgraded our power here, so as you can see, I've got 225 being used out of 300. I'm using more than half, so it's not going to be running as efficiently as possible. Eventually I'll need to put in more solar panels and all that. There they go, shutting down on me. So it's a great way to, like I said, to make a passive income. We did some running around while we were waiting here. Got some salvage data. Got an interesting little bundle of glassy leaves. Look at that, worth over 2 million bucks. That's sweet. So if I can find that ship, I'll be in good shape. But that's something we're gonna have to look for here in a minute. So in any case, I don't know if I did this in the beginning. I don't think I did. So the reason that we're able to do this is because of our survey device here. And what you do is you activate your little survey, your little viewer here, your scanner, and you can look for deposits, and that's that mineral deposit I got, and gas, and power. Unfortunately, I could not find power. But if you look, we're approximately 159 away from one and 179 from another, but if we go into the actual base, it's more evened out. So I tried to place it pretty much in the middle, 162 and 176, whatever. It's close, you know, from where I started it at least. So that is a great way to set up. So now as I explore, I'm going to be making some passive income as this starts to generate cobalt, lots of cobalt and lots of oxygen, and I can always come back at any time, pick it up. I can process it through the little double refiner here. That's why we got it, so that it can actually increase the amount of cobalt made. Now, depending on how often you play will depend on how many extractors you want and how much money you're looking to make and how quickly will also depend. I plan on adding some more extractors, and I plan on adding a lot more storage, because that's where it's at right there. The storage is great. If I don't have to come here for 3 or 4 days and I've got enough storage to make 5 or 6 rows, you know, stacks of cobalt, I'll be in the money, right? I'll be able to just pick that up and go sell it. I won't even need to have any stored anywhere. Like in my old previous playthroughs, I always kept a ship that was dedicated to storing either cobalt or chlorine or whatever it is I was selling and busting economies with, you know. Won't have to do that if I generate enough of it, although I probably still will anyway, just because it's easy, you know. It makes it really easy. But eventually, you know, as you get up to that 4 billion mark here in the units, and that's about the max. It's a little over 4 billion is your max. As I get up to that, it won't matter anymore, because you just won't need that kind of money. Once you start making that kind of money, it's hard to spend it, you know, especially now that they lowered the price of the living frigates. They used to be up to $1 billion a piece, which was utterly insane, but I paid it. All right. Well, as always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and I want to thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated, because, you know, I need resources. Okay, sorry. All right, well, I'm out of here. I'll catch you next time.